Hey losers, or should I say lovers. I'm here today with my announcement for My Bloody Valentine Readathon Part 2. I'm so excited to do this. A couple months ago I wasn't sure if I would be able to, but I'm going to. We're going to do this, right? We're going to do this again. It was so much fun last year, and I've changed up the prompts a little bit this year, so there's a little bit of variety, but I kept ones that I really liked, that I thought were really fun. So let's get into it. First, and very importantly, but like, I'll forget it if I don't say it now, this is going to be taking place over the week of Valentine's. So this will be February 12th through the 18th, a whole week. I have 4 prompts. This whole fucking thing is an idea that I had after watching My Bloody Valentine, the 1981 film, a film about revenge and mining and Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, there aren't enough books about mining out there, at least that I know of, to be able to make a prompt to fit that. That would be so much fun. However, I think that would just be too tedious. So the 4 prompts I have for this year are 2. 1, read a book by an indie author. So that is anybody who is not traditionally published, or if you want, maybe somebody who now in their career is traditionally published, but in the past hasn't been. Maybe they published something themselves. Maybe they went through a small press. We're talking presses like Perpetual Motion Machine Publishing, or Ghoulish Books, or Grindhouse, or Cemetery Gates, or who else? Death's Head Press. That's one, right? Who else am I thinking of? I don't know. Anyone who is not a part of like the big 5 or their imprints. So unfortunately, I don't mean Tor Nightfire or like Macmillan or fucking Penguin or something like that. Not that these prompts can't be messed around with. Not that I'm policing what you want to do, but my intention with that prompt is that. So, of course, you can pick 4 books that, you can pick 2 books. You can pick 4 books that like are romance novels if you want. I really don't give a shit. I just think this is fun, and I think it's gonna be fun. I've got a few examples here to share with you. I just grabbed a couple, but we're talking authors like Chad Lutzke, authors like Laurel Hightower, authors like Samantha Kolesnik, authors like at one point, Kristi DeMeester. I think her last book was maybe St. Martin's Press or something like that. But if you can find a copy of Everything That's Underneath, or her other book, oh, what was that? I believe that that was also through an indie publisher or independently published. So that's what I mean. Of course, you can, like I said, you can play with these prompts. I'm not trying to police what you're doing, I just want to have a little fun. But that is the first prompt. The second prompt is to read a book with a slasher killer, but really it could be any sort of like revenge plot if you wanted. Any book where there is like a human killing other humans. That's what I mean. Since this is a slasher movie, of course. A few examples of that. Kill River by Cameron Roubique. My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I would say Such a Pretty Smile by Kristi DeMeester could fall into this category too. Or possibly The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. Anything where there is people murdering multiple people. I think that that's a perfect slasher. You could even, if you wanted to go into like true crime, I feel like that would work. But just have fun. Next prompt, I think, is my favorite, and this one is to read a book with a body part in the title. I think this one's really fun because this is one you can really play around with, I feel like. Like last year I read Such a Pretty Smile. Smile isn't like an anatomy body part, but it's like a part of your body, you know? Maybe like a wink if you wanted. Any sort of like blood or bone or any part of your anatomy, or even like a verb that is also a noun that your body does, like a snap, sure. A wink, sure. A smile, sure. I don't give a shit. It's just gonna be so much fucking fun to see what you guys do with this. A few examples I have are With Teeth by Brian Keene, The Razorblades in My Head by Donnie Goodman, Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Bazterrica, or even Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell. My final prompt is to read a book that is either set in or written in the 80s. So you could read something written in the 80s, like When Darkness Loves Us by Elizabeth Engstrom. You could read a book that takes place in the 80s, like Tribesmen by Adam Cesare. Or both of these have kind of dual timelines. This is The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay. This has like an adult timeline in like the modern day, and also the main characters as younger people in the 80s. So you could do that. This is another one that does that. This is Whisper Down the Lane by Clay McLeod Chapman. This one has dual timelines, one taking place in the modern day, one taking place in the 80s during Satanic Panic. So that's what I mean. That's what I mean by the 80s. I'm excited to see what people come up with for this one too, because of course the movie came out in 1981 and it's very much an 80s slasher film. I'd also encourage everyone to watch, I don't know, a Valentine's themed horror movie such as My Bloody Valentine. There was a remake of that in like the late 2000s, or maybe the like early 2000s kind of thriller slasher Valentine, which is one of my favorite movies. I watched that so much growing up. That was like one of my on repeat movies. I love those early 2000s like light horror, I guess, like Joyride, Swim Fan, Valentine, stuff like that. Love those. But Valentine is very Valentine centric. It takes place on Valentine's Day. There's a lot of Valentine stuff. There is a killer in a little like Cupid mask. It's great. Let me know if you know of any other like horror thrillers that take place on or around Valentine's Day. I'd love to watch those, and I'd encourage you to pick one up if possible. It's just really fun, you know? So, like I said, I'm gonna fucking say it again. The point of this is just to have fun. If you don't want to follow any of these prompts, that's fine. If you want to use one book to cover 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 prompts, that is totally fucking fine. If you want to read something out of the genre, that's okay. I really just created this to have fun and to spend some time with my fellow bookie friends, my spooky horror fans, fan friends, friends of the show. I'll post my graphic with the prompts on it on my very rudimentary graphic, my very, very basic graphic design skills graphic on Instagram. So make sure you follow me on there. Check out all my social media shit. Follow me on here, follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be posting things on Instagram as the readathon goes along, and I'll be posting my TBR closer to the date. So that again is February 12th through the 18th. That's the week of Valentine's Day. Let me know if you're joining in. I'd love to watch any TBR video or look at any like TBR post on Instagram or anything you're doing. I'd love to know. Thank you guys so much. I can't fucking wait for part 2. I'm so excited. And I just want to say again, thank you to everyone who participated last year. I'm hoping that this year is bigger and badder than ever. I just can't wait. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Happy Valentine's Day. Goodbye.